Yo, 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 what is up, y'all? This is DPS Podcast. That's Damage Per Second Podcast. And we are back once again on a fine Thursday evening. Hope you guys are having a great evening. We're about to have a great show. Let me go ahead and just get into it. Let me go ahead and introduce my co-host with the co-most, Mr. Gaming Forte. How's it going, bro?
Yo, what is up, man? It's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. First of all, it's a great day. It's not as cold as it was earlier this week, but guess what? It's still cold, though, Slow-mo. It's still cold. Did you go buy that snowblower like I told you to?
I did not buy that snowblower, but it wasn't cold. Today felt like the coldest day of winter. It was so cold today. It was like in single digits where I was. And I'm trying to get my kids to school, and I'm just like, man, I'm about to say all y'all sick.
Man,
we just gonna stay in the house.
You ever start your car? Because I forgot the remote started this morning because it was like 4 degrees outside when I took my kid to school this morning. You ever start your car and feel like it's going to break when you start it?
Like it's just going to break apart in pieces.
Like the engine is just going to crack or something. It's like, ooh, that don't sound good.
Man, yeah. Like your engine is just like, man, let me be. Your engine feel like how you feel in the cold. Just like, I don't want to deal with this right now.
Yo, it's like one of those Die Hard commercials. We start in the extreme weathers of the cold, negative 15 degrees. And I'm like, yo, it's colder than that out here.
Exactly, man.
But no, man, it's been a good day, man. And it's been a week. And who knew that even more stuff came up over the course of the last week since the mega shell of $70 billion was dropped. But I'm glad to be here with you, bro. And let's get into it.
Absolutely. Let me shout out some people in the chat real quick. We got Stardust. The first person here tonight was Stardust. Appreciate you, bro. What's going on, man? We got After His Passion, the homie, back again as usual. Michi dies a lot. Rezair 00. I think I said that right. If I did not, apologize. Level 1 Gaming in the house. I think that's Fame. What's up, Fame? I hope you guys are having a good one, man. We're going to, have more people filing in as we get the show rolling. We're going to have some great topics tonight. Of course, you can see the topics there, the topics list. We're going to have a couple of, maybe not a couple, like maybe about 3 or 4 topics that we'll get to before then. Some warm up topics that we'll get to before then. But before we get to all of that, you about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, man, shout out to Fame and congratulations on hitting 1,000 subs, man. That's the hard part. Now it's time to grind your way to 10,000, and I know you guys are gonna do it.
Big facts. Yeah, shout out to Level 1 Gaming. They do a lot of content. I feel like it's like daily content. I think it's daily content, but yeah, check out the YouTube channel, and they got a website. So it's like a website and a YouTube channel. It's everything you need, gaming related, gaming news and content. That's they really are putting in the work over there. Appreciate them and everything they do, man.
Itchy, how the heck did you let somebody else get here before you?
That is a good question. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Michi was slipping. He let Stardust here before him. No, well, before we get into our topics, man, what you been up to over the past week?
Let's see. I did a bunch of stuff over the course of the last week. I had visits with a DM at work. I bought a new snowblower. I put down a down payment for a riding lawnmower because you got to upgrade your game at some point. I did that. Mm-hmm. What else did I do this week? Freeze. First of all,
do you have enough lawn for a riding lawnmower? Because people be out here, people be having a riding lawnmower and they have a townhouse. And then look, there's no shade against anybody with a townhouse, right? But I'm just like, you don't need a riding lawnmower when you got like a patch of grass that's like the size of your walk-in closet. Like, come on, you don't need a riding lawnmower. I don't even know where you store the thing, right? But like,
I'm pretty much giving up my side of the garage for it.
Okay, so you go keep it in your garage. Invest in a tool shed. That's what I have my riding lawnmower and all of my other lawn stuff in my tool shed in the backyard.
I think I have a shed in my backyard, but it's a single door, so it's not wide enough to come. So that was the thing. But I was thinking, I was like, man, maybe one day, in the future, I can rip this thing down and put a bigger one back there.
Might as well, man. Look, especially if this isn't like, say, like how people considered like their I don't know if this is like your first home or not, but like,
Yeah, it's first.
like some people consider their first home a starter home, so they don't want to do too much. But if you plan on being there forever, ever, then shoot.
Oh no, we ain't doing that's it.
Tear that thing down, blow it up, hit it with a rocket launcher, do whatever you want to do to it, build on top of it, like go ahead and make it your own, because you in there for the long haul, right?
Oh yeah, we ain't going nowhere. My kids will have this house when we're done with it.
Michi Dazzler says, Forte, you on RDX this Tuesday?
I was.
I say you are so popular, man. You just get on everything. How many podcasts you doing this week?
That's a good question. So
you don't even know. Sad.
Oh, I do know. I did Iron Lords on Sunday.
Mm-hmm,
it was only a cameo, but I did one.
You still did a podcast, so go ahead, continue.
Okay.
That's one.
I did I did Brap on Wednesday.
It went two.
I did our podcast today.
Three.
I did RDX. Did I say did you count RDX already?
No, I did not, but that's 4. Go ahead.
Wait, no. Yeah, so
it's 4.
So RDX.
It's
okay,
4. Okay.
Scumcast.
This Saturday, so that's gonna be 5.
And Game On Daily on Saturday afternoon before Scumcast.
6 podcasts in 7 days.
It's been a while since I've been living that life.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like you do this often, bro. I'm just saying.
No, last week I only did 2 shows.
Look, I have a rule of thumb here. Here's my rule of thumb. Now I have done a few podcasts, in a week's period from time to time. I don't live that life no more. That's all you, right? Now, for me, my rule of thumb is I will not do more podcasts than I play games. So if I'm doing you want 6 podcasts, I don't know how many hours of actual podcasting time you're putting in, but if it's 8 hours of podcasting, you better have at least 9 hours of gaming going on this week.
Oh yeah, I surpassed that a long time ago.
Of this week?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're positive?
Very.
What you play this week?
So I played Spider-Man. I played Spider-Man for a couple hours yesterday. Well, like an hour yesterday. I was playing during the show.
Pause.
Yes, pause.
I need to call you out on something real quick.
Oh, I should have kept my
mouth shut. Yeah, you should have kept your mouth shut, but it's too late now. Chat.
I forgot all about
DPS family. Let me tell y'all something. Yeah, all this time I've been telling Forte, and we have been telling Forte, you need to play Spider-Man, man. Why are you fronting on Spider-Man? All this time we've been telling him this, and he just been ignoring it. Oh man, I'll get to it. I'm gonna play Spider-Man. Hey, my daughter played it. Don't that count? That kind of foolishness, right? Our homie, the Ashen Lucas, shout out to her, finally starts playing. She finally listened to me and played Spider-Man. She's loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Forte wants to play Spider-Man. She didn't even tell him to play. She just playing the game and enjoying it. And he all of a sudden, he gotta be a me too. Oh, I'm gonna play it now too. I'm just like, all right, I understand. I see how it is. I see the disrespect. When I say, hey, a game is great, you should play it, he just ignores me. So
Destiny had its claws in me then, and now it doesn't. For at least the next month. So listen. Shout out to Diller and the crew. They needed an extra person. They got me up in there, and I appreciate it. Shout out to Gaz and Game On Daily. They wanted me to come on there because I haven't been on there yet, and I think you should check it out, Slow Mo, so you can see the intro that I did for their show. It's pretty hilarious. And then
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out, man. He DM'd me saying, that intro was fire. I was
you are a little garbled. I don't know if the audience is hearing it how I'm hearing it. You're just a tad bit garbled. You might want to drop out and drop back in just to kind of how Discord is sometimes. But yeah, Forte go do his thing. I'm mostly messing with him. I like to mess around with Forte as he does his podcasting marathon on every podcast that's out there. He's like playing podcast bingo. Like he's trying to fill up the entire bingo card of podcasts among the community. It's crazy. No,
You be wanting to do the same. Listen, man, you want to do it too. You probably do it too. You do it too, by the way. Matter of fact, you went on a streak of way more podcasts than I did for a while.
This is so untrue. This is completely false, and I don't appreciate the false allegations here. But no, it's all good, man. I'm just messing with you. It's all good.
I've been working this week when it comes to everything gaming, podcasting. Made a video this week, so that just making that one video probably took longer than all those podcasts combined.
That's big facts for those out there who've never done any like making videos, YouTube video content creation kind of stuff. Like, people don't understand how long it may take just to do like a 5-minute video. Like, that's not like, it doesn't take 5 minutes to make a 5-minute video. It'll take like 2 or 3 hours minimum, depending on how much time you put into it, how much editing you do, the quality of the work. If you just, even if it's just you talking over some gameplay, that's not going to take 5 minutes to get done either. The rendering, the uploading to YouTube, waiting for a acceptable version of resolution for YouTube to render it at. It's
acceptable version.
Yeah, acceptable version. Don't do like me and try to go 4K everything. Good grief. Like, it's just like, oh, we'll have this ready in 2 days or something. It's just like, what are you doing?
Really? Your gig?
No. I mean, like, uploading it isn't the problem. I'm not talking about the actual. Hyperbole. Yeah, no. I'm not talking about the actual render in my software. I'm talking about after I got it rendered. I render a 4K video in less than 20 minutes on my rig. But I'm talking about when I upload it to YouTube. Once it's done, I still have like the 360p version for like hours. And then finally, after maybe like 2 or 3 hours, it'll hit me with like a 1080p version. Oftentimes, I'll just go ahead. I'm so impatient when it's just 1080p is when I'll publish the video, knowing that the 4K version is like right around the corner. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Like, now what I do now is that I get the video ready at night, and then I have it scheduled for the next morning, for the next day, and that gives YouTube all the time in the world to finally get their 4K version correct. And I know we're definitely in the weeds with all this talk. I don't know if anybody cares about any of this. My bad, y'all. Let's get into some of these topics here. So, first topic. But before I do that, are you good there? Are you good? Are you ready for the topics, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good. This your show.
It's our show. It's our show, man.
Well, you're the one that you're the one that moves the narrative forward today.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Oh yeah, because I'm giving you all of the love today, brother. All of it. It belongs to you.
All right, man. First topic on the docket is Ubisoft and Hyperscape. So, like, I know some people are probably like, who? What's a Hyperscape? Let's take a look at that real quick, right? So, Hyperscape, and I did all that, and I'm on the wrong article. Here we go. Boom, Hyperscape. Hyperscape is a battle royale that Ubisoft developed. And you know how we talked before about how Ubisoft is all about chasing trends. They are the publisher that sees the wave and sees someone else riding the best wave ever, and then they get their surfboard, they run out there on the beach, they try to get out there and catch that wave too, but the wave is gone and they ain't got nothing. And that's Ubisoft. That's them. They always missing the wave. So everyone else has their battle royale. You got Fortnite with Epic, you got Activision with Warzone, you got EA and Respawn with Apex Legends. Everybody's got their battle royale. Ubisoft come in, let's get some of this battle royale money. Let's get some of that free to play, tons of microtransactions out the butthole money. Let's go. And no, like they put something together and it didn't work out. And so a lot of people may be looking at this and being like, wait a minute, man, there was a Ubisoft battle royale. Yeah, there was, because it's already canceled. It's already out here. So Ubisoft is shutting down Hyperscape. I'm gonna go through the article real quick. Today, Ubisoft announced that it will be ending the development of first-person shooter Hyperscape and will shut the title down on April 28th. Originally released in 2020, Hyperscape is a multi-platform battle royale game where up to 100 players can compete to be, I guess that's supposed to be number one. Jeffrey, I don't know who Jeffrey's editor is, but Jeffrey's editor did not help him out in this case. Sorry about that, Jeffrey. Anyway, quote, we set out to create a vertical, close quarters, and fast-paced shooter experience, and we are extremely grateful to our community for joining us on our journey, the company said. We will be taking key learnings from this game into future products. I think that's kind of Forte. You see this here?
Oh man, this
we will be taking key learnings from this game into future products. Will you really?
What will you take from this game? Nothing.
Absolutely
you should take nothing. Nothing should be taken from this game. When they put out that horrific, what was that thing you call? You said that thing that should go unnamed that you played in?
Oh yeah, because I'm still in the NDA. I can't talk about it, but people probably know what it is. Just think about any of the game disasters that they launched into like a test beta or whatever that they allowed people to play last year. I was in all of them. They all stunk. So just think of any one of those. Yeah.
Good God, they all no redeeming qualities.
None.
None. No. Well, I wasn't. As soon as first of all, I'm not a huge BR person like that. I do play them every once in a while. Like Apex Legends is probably my favorite one. I did put a lot of time into Apex, and we were, as a matter of fact, I was just talking to you about that yesterday, that we should jump into that. Brand new seasons and stuff come around, new characters. It's like so many different operators in there that you could jump into, which makes it really interesting to want to jump in and like play it again. But I didn't even think of this game. This game was something like, I thought the premise of it was kind of cool, but when I was looking at the actual gameplay and I was like, no, this just doesn't look fun. And then on top of it,
so did you ever play this?
I played it a little bit.
Okay, because I played it a little bit too. I probably played like 30 minutes of it, and I just knew this was not for me.
That's what I'm saying. It was like I literally didn't even finish the game. I was like, no.
Yeah, I did finish one match, and that's just like, I don't.
The match.
Yeah, it's just not good. I'll continue the article here. Ubisoft's statement didn't provide a reason as to why it was ending the title's development and shutting it down. Do they need a reason? We know what the reason is. Ain't nobody playing it. However, key developers from the Hyperscape team, including executive producer, I'm about to butcher this. Okay, hold on. Grammy Jennings. We can go with that. Okay. Creative director JC Guyot, art director Michael Labat, game director Thomas Simon, and technical director Thomas Felix all left Ubisoft early last year to create their own studio, Monster Closet. Interesting name. Shortly after their departures, communication for the title went dormant. Prior to the news of the game's cancellation, the last news update on the official site was posted in early April of 2021, while the game's Twitter account hasn't posted since June of last year. Good grief. Why would anyone think this game was still alive if you haven't posted anything since June of last year on the Twitter account? Like, that's...
people would think, is this even a... It's not even a game anymore, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. But look...
But they turned their back on a lot of their like battle royale type games. The fact that they had a really, really good successful one, and it wasn't standalone because it was inside of the Division. They walked away from survival and stuff, and I was like, you had something good there, and then you walked away from it. So
right.
I think they tried.
The king of bad decisions.
Yeah, maybe I always thought maybe they thought the reason they didn't want to do the Division survival mode is because they didn't want to compete with their standalone BR, but their standalone BR was not as good, nowhere near as fleshed out or as good as something that they literally conjured together in the overnight with Division's survival mode, which was far superior, and everybody was miffed when it wasn't in Division 2.
Right, right. And that was one of them because the survival mode. It's if you want to talk about the best battle royale ever, is Division Survival. It's the best battle royale that's out there. There's nothing better than it. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, I mean, like that's off topic. I think it's unfortunate that yet another game kind of died, but this kind of goes back to what we've spoken to before about Ubisoft chasing trends instead of trying to be innovative or plot their own their own path or kind of carve out their own niche in the gaming industry. Like people don't want to play your games if you're just doing what everyone else is doing. If you're just taking your big name IPs, even though Hyperscape isn't really Hyperscape is a brand new IP, so that wasn't a big name IP. But I'm talking about like taking Assassin's Creed and turning it into an action RPG instead of a stealth game. Taking the Division and no longer making it a looter shooter and kind of turning it into like a survival / co-op game that's like scavengers. Like nobody wants to play that. Like people who like the Division want to play a looter shooter. People who like Assassin's Creed want to play a survival game. Shout out to Ramon Terrell, our homie Ramon Terrell, the the Hallmark Channel Actor of the Year out here with the $5 Canadian. He says, what's up, homies? Just started Outer Worlds for about an hour and a half. Seems like it's going to be good, but hasn't grabbed me yet. Okay. Forte, you played Outer Worlds, right?
No.
Oh my god, I forgot.
It's one of the
yes, Destiny.
It's
Okay,
it's on the list. It's definitely on the list.
Your list is probably 5 miles long at this point.
It's
I
longer.
I will tell you about the Outer Worlds.
I heard the DLC was even better.
The I never did the DLC because I have a thing where I don't like expansions or DLC that don't continue the story. When there's an expansion or DLC that is just like, if I already beat the game, I actually have to go play through the game again in order to like enjoy the DLC. I can't stand that. So,
Right.
so I didn't play the DLC, but I did play through the game. I did enjoy it. Outer Worlds is the kind of game where once you finish the first quest, if you didn't enjoy that first quest, you're probably not going to enjoy the game. So, like that first quest really kind of like introduces you to what the gameplay design is going to be like, the level of versatility you have and the choices you have into determining how things may turn out. And if you really enjoy that, having that degree of player choice in a game, in an RPG, then you're really like the Outer World. So I would say, Ramon, go ahead and finish that first quest with the first town on the first planet. And if it still hasn't quite grabbed you at that point, it might not be for you, man. But thank you for the super chat, by the way. We can move on past Hyperscape. This probably be the last time anyone ever talks about that game ever again.
Yeah. I mean, they did talk about it before.
Right. The other thing that I think a lot of people are going to be excited about is that Electronic Arts and Lucasfilm Games had announced this yesterday, where Respawn Entertainment isn't just doing Jedi Fallen Order 2, but Respawn Entertainment is currently in development of 3 Star Wars games. I think that's actually pretty awesome. Let's take a look at that real quick. I go ahead and blow this up.
Does it look like Disney is really too hurt about the success and the all the news around Star Wars Battlefront 2 to keep giving this stuff to EA?
Well, I mean, they're not giving it to DICE. And Battlefront, there's no Battlefront 3 yet. Here's the thing. So like,
it doesn't need to be Battlefront 3.
EA and Disney had a 10-year contract for Star Wars. And now, as we already know, they reestablished Lucasfilm Games, which is a publishing arm for them for in-gaming. Massive Entertainment, that used to do The Division, is doing a Star Wars game. We know Quantic Dream is doing a Star Wars game. That's Star Wars Eclipse. there's another one. Oh, there is Aspire instead of BioWare is doing the Knights of the Old Republic remake. A lot of other developers are doing Star Wars games now. So they didn't like end their relationship with EA completely. They weren't so upset that it was just like you're never getting.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't as upset as they were portraying on online.
What's up, Yobi? How's it going, man? Just saw that Yobi said what's up.
Yobi!
I'll just go through this real quick. It says EA Incorporated and Lucasfilm Games are joining forces to continue delivering an all-new, world-class gaming experiences set within the beloved Star Wars galaxy. Respawn Entertainment, best known for their work on Apex Legends, Titanfall, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, is leading the development and production of these new projects. Vince Zampella, who if he's not CEO of EA in like 5 years, I don't know what's going on, but I think he definitely will be. Anyway, founder of Respawn will oversee this new phase of EA's relationship with Lucasfilm, building on Respawn's award-winning history in game development and expertise in telling compelling Star Wars stories. Game director Stig Asmussen, I think I got that right. We'll continue. We keep going. And his team at the studio are already working on the next game in the action-adventure Star Wars Jedi series and are joined by 2 new teams working to deliver additional unique Star Wars gameplay experiences across multiple genres. Leading the development of Respawn's all-new Star Wars first-person shooter, bro. I'm excited. Look, I don't even care about Star Wars like that, but another Respawn first-person shooter in the Star Wars universe. Okay, I'm cool. I'm geeked on that. Anyway, Peter
for the same
Hirschman,
go ahead, continue this.
Game director at Respawn, who has a long and accomplished history with the Star Wars franchise. The third title is a Star Wars strategy game developed through a production collaboration with the newly formed studio Bit Reactor, helmed by games industry veteran Greg Forstich. Yo, I'm awful at names. I am. I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry. Respawn will produce the new Star Wars strategy game while Bit Reactor leads on the development of the title. We are excited to continue working with the superbly talented developers at Respawn. And this is from Douglas Riley, VP at Lucasfilm Games. They have demonstrated excellence in telling epic Star Wars stories, along with best-in-class gameplay across different genres, and we are looking forward to bringing more amazing experiences to the galaxy far, far away. Notice they specifically said Respawn. Specifically, they're so talented.
They made the good one.
Right, they didn't make the other ones.
They make the other one. They made the good one.
But yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. I guess we just end it there because that's pretty much explained it. So that's 3 games. There's Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order 2. There is a first-person shooter, and that is a strategy game, which I probably not going to care too much for myself, but I think that's pretty awesome, and Respawn seems to be really entrenched in what EA's doing. What do you think about this, man?
Oh man, I think it's incredible. I mean, unlike you, I love Star Wars, so this really excites me.
It's overrated.
Hearing your excitement is kind of interesting because you don't care for the IP at all.
I really don't, but I care about good games. And I care about, like, Jedi Fallen Order was a good game.
It was a good game.
I enjoyed playing it. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the sequel.
You beat it?
Yeah, I beat it. I'm looking forward to the sequel. I beat it twice. I beat it on Xbox and I beat it on PC through Origin Premiere or Origin EA Play Pro, whatever. I'm looking forward to the sequel that's supposed to be supposedly coming out later this year. Who knows, right? But I'm looking forward to that, right?
How many teams does Respawn have now?
They only have so they have 2 studios. So teams,
I know they got one studio that does Apex.
Yes. That's their main team. Their main team that did the Titanfall games. That's who's doing Apex. They created a completely separate studio to make Jedi Fallen Order. And this is kind of what I was talking about when we were on Brad yesterday. And I was talking about the correct way. This is in regards to Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics and the disaster that was Marvel's Avengers. The correct way of we're having a developer who is already experienced and good at making a certain kind of game get into making a different kind of game.
Right.
And I think Playground Games is doing that with Fable. Instead of taking their racing team and say, hey, go make this action RPG, they went and created a second studio, hired people who were experienced in making those kind of games, and then said, do what you do. But this is like, but we already have a culture of excellence because we've been dropping 90 rated racers back to back to back. As long as we keep that culture, but we allow you to, you know how to make this kind of games, so we just let you do what you know how to do. We'll be all good to go, right? And so I think that is like the correct way of going about it. And Respawn has done that. They hired a bunch of people who used to work at Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica. They people who have worked and made the kind of games that would make Jedi Fallen Order a success, and it turned out to be a success. And so that's what I like. Like Knights of the Old Republic, one of my favorite games of all time, Star Wars game. But that's the RPG to put BioWare on the map. You know, it's one of the best RPGs ever made. So right. I still contend that Star Wars is overrated.
You think it was a stolen
but I'm not going to ignore I'm not going to ignore great games when they're great games. You said I think it's stolen. It is stolen. From Doom.
Oh my god! That's just because you like Doom.
No, it's because Lucas stole it from Doom. George Lucas stole large part of Star Wars from Doom.
Yeah, but they're not even comparable.
Yeah, because Doom is so much better. Yeah. So anyway,
But yeah, it took them 60 years to come out with something proper.
Well, I mean, look, that's all about Hollywood, man. That's a Hollywood thing.
They could have came out with something good for never mind. We're not going to go down a tangent on Star Wars. No, this is great. My only question or my only thing is, don't take away from the thing that, you know, the cash cow, which is Apex, because I do know a lot of people love that game. Even when I played it, I loved that game. It was just that you only have so much time to play like a looter shooter and a BR. And I feel like Apex is probably the best BR out there. You know, I don't really play Call of Duty, so I really can't really speak to that one, or when it comes to Warzone. Mm-hmm. But Apex, when I played Apex, I was like, yo, Apex is freaking amazing. And I love the fact that they were able to bridge the gap between what was great about Titanfall and everything and bring that into a world where you can actually, you know, go around and just do everything you can do in that game. But
how do you feel about Titanfall 3? Basically,
it ain't ever coming. Ever.
You don't think it's ever coming? I mean, like, I wouldn't say never ever. It's just like,
you would never,
not like, probably ever, not this generation.
Yeah, it's going to be something that's going to, when it does come, because I do believe it will come at some point, but when it does come, it's going to be something that a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, this is going to be incredible. It's going to probably be this huge generational leap that could only be done during that generation. Because I do think when they do bring that back, I think they want to bring it back with some twists. Because, you know, running on walls and all in the mobility in that game was something that you've never seen before in any type of first person shooter for the most part, or modern style like that. And that's when Call of Duty decided to adopt it and go down that road after the fact. Mm-hmm. So I think the reason Titanfall did so well is because it was different. And I think they're waiting for technology to probably catch up to a point where they could do something else that they think is great about that game to do it again.
I don't think it's that deep. I think it's simply because the game didn't sell well, and EA thinks the IP is only valued by a small minority contingent of the hardcore gaming community. And outside of that, they don't think that people really care for Titanfall, another Titanfall. And with Star Wars, which is going to print money, like even bad Star Wars games sell well because it's Star Wars. So like they're just like, well, why will we go with a take another risk with Titanfall, even though I feel it was their own fault for when they released Titanfall 2. But
in between Call of Duty and Battlefield,
right, that was stupid,
yeah,
right? But like that's the kind of risk they took. I think if they treated Titanfall a little bit better and gave it a little bit more of a shot, then it would be okay. But it makes sense to me that instead of having Respawn go back to hopefully making a Titanfall 3 work, and even if it does work, it's guaranteed to sell less than what they're doing now with Star Wars. And it just makes sense that, like, if you're gonna try to make sure you can keep making Star Wars games for Lucasfilm Games and Disney, put your best studio on it. And right now your best studio is Respawn Entertainment. It's not DICE.
Yeah, that's true. It used to be DICE. I do think that it's hard for me to say it, but Battlefield, as much as I love it, it's like, I don't know. It just is. I don't know what they can do with that franchise anymore. It's like, I'm holding out hope by April, because they said they got updates for that game in April coming out that's going to fix it. But even that sounds dire.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Titanfall, it will be a huge opportunity for them to bring back a shooter like that, because a lot of people were they wanted to play Battlefield. And I do think that they are missing something in that type of space and everything. So I just hope it's not too long of a wait to get back to something like Titanfall, because I still consider that by far the best single player first person shooter campaign I've ever played. And the multiplayer,
I wouldn't say ever. It's up there though. It's way up there.
You give me a first person shooter that was better.
Campaign
that was better. The fact that you got to think about it.
I mean, look, man, look. You put me on the spot.
Because if you got to think about it, like, listen, if you got to literally go back and think, like, if I asked you, if I asked you what was the best role-playing game or action RPG that you ever played, me personally, I'm just going to instantly say Mass Effect 2. There's nothing better that I played than that. Maybe Witcher was a very, very close second to that. And maybe you'll say Dragon Age because you love Dragon Age. But you instantly know what the best game in that you played in that genre is. And there is, as much as I love the Call of Duty campaigns, because I always thought Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare series was amazing, and I played all three of them just to get the Makarov at the end of it. I thought those were great. But that Titanfall 2 campaign still sticks with me to this day. And you just recently played it. So yeah, I played through it.
I played through it before I played Halo Infinite's campaign, I think yeah.
It's way better than that.
It is. It's better than the Halo Infinite's campaign.
It's better than all the Halo campaigns.
The BT, your Titan, and your BT has more emotion than the Master Chief. I know that some people, that might trigger some people, but it's true. It's true. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. Mr. Xbox in the chat says BioShock. I think some people would say probably agree with that. In case you guys are wondering about the very shaky looking footage I got playing right now, because we're talking about Star Wars.
Is this Mandalorian or something?
This is the canceled EA game Star Wars 1313.
Oh, I didn't even know they had extra footage out there.
Yeah, it just got revealed today. Like this is footage that like has been in, I guess, the EA vault for ever since they canceled the game. And I mean, look, it's got. I think that's
like Uncharted.
Yeah, because it is.
He's swinging through the air.
Yeah, they used a lot of influences from Uncharted and Tomb Raider, and the gameplay. It's I think this isn't the one that Amy Hennig was working on. This is from, I can't remember which developer under that. It's a developer that EA acquired, and then they canceled this game, even though they had the IP. They had just got the exclusive rights to the IP, and they canceled it for whatever reason, probably because it was single player and story driven. And back then, they didn't believe single player story driven games could sell anymore until Respawn proved them wrong. So ridiculous.
Oh, man, this looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. And for those who look at this and be like, "Ew," like some of the assets are like not there and stuff like that. You gotta understand, when games are in development, this is a vertical slice of the game. When games are in development, this is usually what they look like. They're not adding in all the detail and all the like debris on the streets and the environments. Great lighting, global illumination,
until they know
ray
they got the substance of it all.
Yeah, they don't add all that stuff into they're getting close to a post-production process, and they're trying to polish the game up. That's when they add all that stuff into the game. They when they're developing the game, this is usually how it looks, and you. I mean, look, it's
well. That's why people don't. That's because people don't realize the fact that they always get like, people always say, like, how the heck do you have performance issues in the game that's about to launch in like a month or 2 months or something like that?
This is the last thing they're doing. Yeah,
this is the last thing that they're doing. Right? Because it's just like, okay, if you never made a video before, it's just like making a video. You don't have your timeline. You don't have it set to the highest resolution to be able to work it. You have it set to a low resolution just so you could work faster in it. And that's what they're actually doing in this. When you look at this, all of the assets render faster for them. They get to see what the actual frame rate looks like in the game as they're playing it, to make sure it's fluent in the type of decisions and stuff you can make in the game. And then once they get that part settled in, they build the assets around what they have, and then they optimize that stuff to match the frame rate they want the game to match at. But that's why they have issues at the very end sometimes, because sometimes unforeseen things come up and they got to go back and they got to work on other things. And then that's when you get stuff like delays, because they'll be like, you know what, we need more time to polish this game. And most of the time that polish is just to fix a lot of the performance issues that a game has, because a lot of the bells and whistles that you see in the game come together in like the last 3 to 4 months of it, because that's the last thing they do.
Yeah. And also, it is every now and then you'll catch the developer miss something. So, like, for example, in Anthem, people found like a post or a pillar in the open world where it was basically just an asset. And it actually said on the asset, make sure this gets replaced before launch, and they didn't. They missed it, So it's just like stuff like that happens. Like there'll be things in the environment where they say, oh, add this kind of item to this, or this is supposed to be X, Y, Z, and things like that to developer notes essentially, in order to know what asset needs to go where and things like that. So occasionally that stuff makes it into the final game, depending on how big a game is, especially if you have like a game like Anthem, big massive open world game. You're gonna miss little things like that, and people find it, and it's kind of like a little funny Easter egg, even though not too many people found very many things funny about Anthem in its performance and how that game turned out. But anyway, we can move on.
Funny about Anthem? The funny thing about Anthem was we really liked that game at first.
I enjoyed the game. The gameplay was fun.
That game.
The gameplay was fun.
I can't believe how much we used to ride for that slumber. We was riding for that game.
Look, the gameplay was fun. The gameplay was fun. It was a buggy mess. And I was hoping that they would turn it around, but like they're working with that trash Frostbite engine, so no. And then the story didn't live up to typical. I'm not even going to say the story didn't live up to typical BioWare standards. The story didn't live up to just basic story standards. Period. Forget BioWare high standards. It just wasn't a good story. Period. It was awful. So let me get done with all that stuff. Next topic up is Epic Games is opening a Polish studio for new game experiences. So this is a bit interesting.
Passion just came after me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Good.
Shout out to after his passion with the $10 super chat. Halo CE better than Titanfall 2. One had innovation, was culturally impactful, successfully made FPS playable on console, had a mysterious and captivating story, created a series of excellent sequels. Bro, please listen. I'm with you. Look, I'm speaking in hyperbole when I'm talking about it being better than every Halo. I am kind of a prisoner of the moment. Halo's amazing. I love Halo, but Halo has been so down for me over the course of the last generation, pretty much. You just kind of forget how great Halo truly was back in 2001. So I can't disagree. I can't disagree with you on that. But I'll even give you your flowers and say you're absolutely right, because it did. Halo, the first Halo Combat Evolved was amazing. You get to the flood and the whole game changes on you. You're like, what is this? These parasites, and why are they here? I agree. That was a huge turning point in the franchise, in one game that really captivated a lot of people. So I will give you that. But to say that there's probably 2 or 3 more games better than Titanfall 2 that's kind of blasphemous in itself. But I'll give you that after your pat, because I appreciate your opinion on that.
I do agree, and it's not a nostalgia thing, even though I have a ton of nostalgia for Halo Combat Evolved, because it's just I have it high on my list of like ranking Halo games, just for all the fun I had with it with my friends and the multiple times I played through that campaign. That said, they reused a lot of the same environments. They reused a lot of the same assets. It needed to be done due to the limitations of hardware and things like that, but it is still what it is. Titanfall 2, I think, had a narrative that flowed a little bit better. It didn't do a nice reveal, like introducing the flood out of nowhere and kind of showing here is another completely different faction that you now have to worry about, and not just the Covenant. But that said, Titanfall 2, the gunplay, and I mean, you gotta be honest, Passion here. Like, the gunplay, and compared to like old school Bungie gunplay from Halo Combat Evolved, yes, they did show the world how to do a first person shooter on a controller, but Titanfall 2's gunplay is chef's
phenomenal.
Kiss. It's
chef's kiss.
Go play that game again. I played it recently again, and it's held up very, very well. Moving on, I wanted to move on to this topic about Epic Games real quick. So Epic is where is that bam, there we go. Epic is opening a new Polish studio. He says, okay, all right, Passion for the $5 super chat says Titanfall 2 was excellent. Don't get me wrong. Okay, look, just as long as we know, like, Titanfall 2 has a great campaign, especially that one mission where you're going back and forth between time. And
I love that mission. It's so cool.
Like the best.
I was like, it's so cool that they doing this.
That's like the best standalone mission I've ever played in the first person shooter. It's that good. All right, back to this studio. So I thought this was interesting, and I thought this was interesting to bring up because everyone remembered when Fortnite blew up, Epic shut down development on all the other games that they were working on. All the studios that were working on other games had to now be repurposed to be working on just Fortnite. And it looks like now that Epic is kind of broadening out a little bit, opening back up. Now we know they're now a platform too, because they got Epic Game Store on PC, and they're publishing games. They're publishing 3 games for Remedy. They're publishing games for Quantic Dream, and they also have acquired a few developers as well. I can't remember which developers they've acquired, but they've been doing that as well. But looks like they're now getting back into just basic development. So it says Epic Games announced through a brief blog post the foundation of a new studio in Poland. It will be spearheaded by a small team coming from indie studio Plastic, known for unique productions released on PlayStation consoles like Linger in Shadows, Datura, and Bound. I have not heard of any of those games, but cool. According to the announcement press release, the new studio will focus on the creation of original standalone experiences that push forward the boundaries of graphics and game development. It seems likely that they will leverage Epic's Unreal Engine 5 and MetaHuman creator tools to do so. I love to see that, especially that MetaHuman creator tools. The MetaHuman's awesome. We got here McCall Stanzowiski. There we go. Studio director of Epic Games. Our team is incredibly proud to spearhead the growth of Epic Games in Poland. Poland's a growing hub for the top engineering talent that we need to create amazing new gaming experiences for players around the world. Hector Sanchez, head of Epic Games Publishing. For over 20 years, the team from Plastic has been developing some of the most ambitious and future-facing projects in the demo scene. I don't know what the demo scene is. You know what the demo scene is, Forte?
That's a good question. Who knows?
All right, but maybe somebody in the chat can inform us on what the demo scene is. Anyway, they are an incredible group of talents who have created genre-defining experiences that sit on the bleeding edge of technological advances, pushing hardware to the limits in a beautifully artistic way. And we could be more excited to have them on our team and support their growth at Epic. So, yeah, look, man, that's pretty good to hear. What do you think about that, man?
I think it's been been a long time, and they needed to do something like this because everybody doesn't play Fortnite, and I understand that, and I understand why they did it. It gave them the ability to build their PC infrastructure up with the launcher and everything. Fortnite basically funded all that, so they wanted to make sure that they put as much effort and time into Fortnite. That's why you saw so many updates. And they still update that game on a crazy scale. I mean, you 1 minute you can see something in Fortnite, you can see something somewhere else, and then within a week it's in Fortnite. Especially if it's something that's very, very culturally accepted and stuff, they'll actually put it in there instantly right in there. I remember when Apex had the revive system for the first time when they saw it. It's like, oh, it's in Fortnite a week later. So they do a lot of things like that, and then I commend them on that. But the one thing a lot of people have been missing is the fact that they did make a lot of great games. I mean, they don't have the Gears of War IP no more because Xbox purchased that from them, but that did come from underneath their stewardship, and a lot of people are just interested in seeing what they could actually do next. So seeing that they finally, I guess, have their financial gains into a good place where they feel like they can actually branch out, open up new teams, develop new games that are outside of the wheelhouse of Fortnite. I think that's something a lot of people are going to be excited to see. The question is, they just got to make sure they pick the right people to foster these new experiences and stuff like that. But I do think a lot of people have patience when it comes to especially newer development houses, when it comes to new IPs, because we don't get enough of them. It's like a lot of the stuff is kind of copy and paste. And the one thing that you always talk about, and we always talk about, is the best experiences and new innovations in gaming always comes from that sector and stuff. So in fact, it kind of comes off that Epic is kind of starting over, because when all you do is Fortnite, that's basically starting you from scratch. And I'm looking forward to the process of how that's going to play out with them.
Yeah, question for you. Do you think this is kind of a sign internally that they kind of feel like Fortnite might be at it has already reached this peak? Yeah, it's reached this peak, and it's not going to reach the heights that it once had. Not saying it's dead or anything. Clearly, it's not. But it's people are now looking for something new and not Fortnite. So
I wouldn't say that. I think it's like hit. I mean, I do think it's probably hit its height. I mean, it's kind of insane to think that a game like that actually has enjoyed as much love and support as it has. I mean, because it's pretty simplistic in its own right, and people probably don't realize that game was mostly afterthought. It was Fortnite was,
it was Fortnite Save the World. It wasn't Fortnite Battle Royale. Yeah.
Battle Royale. And and then once again, this credit to Epic, they saw something. I
actually like Fortnite Save the World. It just
I did too.
No one else liked it.
I bought it. I paid for the creator pack. I paid like $60 for it.
Oh yeah, I paid I think the whoever the standard package was for the beta access. Yeah, it was like $40 or something like that. Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it. So I do think that it was a great and calculated move by them, and I do think that the game is still gonna flourish. I just don't think it's gonna flourish as high as it's been flourishing in the past. So I think at a certain point now they're looking for the next thing, because your success only lasts for so long. Just think about how PUBG was. PUBG was super hot when it came out and everybody was playing it. Remember when it hit 20 million players in like the first couple of weeks of it being out, and because it was already available on PC. Then when it hit console, it hit another all-time high. And, that was very, very short-lived. Fortnite has, continued to be pretty resilient in that regard. And then that's also with games like Apex Legends and the impacting it when it comes to sales and people wanting to play that. I just think they want to do something different now, but I do think that they kind of come to the realization that Fortnite's not going to get pretty much any bigger than it is now, but it's so culturally accepted at this point with all the different things they do inside the game.
It's mainstream.
It's mainstream now. It's like Call of Duty. It's like until something better comes out that completely dethrones it, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So they can pretty much rest assured until that day happens. And I don't even know if another game can do that right now, or at least it hasn't been thought of yet, I should say.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. And in our last, I said this is many topics. We already an hour into them. My bad on that, But the last,
no, you're good.
The last topic here is from actually comes from Jez Corden, which also he actually got this from our homie Jeff Grubb. And what this is talking about in particular is, give me a second to pull this up. So what's happening here is that we have the leak of another Xbox game coming soon, and it's going to be from Certain Affinity. And Certain Affinity is has done a lot of support work for Xbox game studios in the past. They've worked on, I think they worked on Halo 2 before, I think. I can't remember which other games. Well, I think fairly certain they did support work on Halo 2 before. But they're supposed to be making a Monster Hunter-like Xbox exclusive codename Forte. I tell you the names today. I probably butchered everything. But Jez writes, Microsoft is working on a veritable mountain of content with both internal and external partners. Microsoft acquired ZeniMax. Yada, yada, yada. In addition to internal games, Microsoft is working on a range of third parties on titles like Project Dragon from IO Interactive, As Dusk Falls from Interior Night, Contraband from Avalanche. Thanks to the latest episode of Jeff Grubb's Grub Snacks show, we now have unearthed yet another game, and I can confirm via our own separate sources that this game is indeed real and is currently codenamed Project Forte. Forte is reportedly a Monster Hunter-inspired game, implying big monster battles with multiplayer gameplay. This game is in development by Certain Affinity, which is known primarily as a support studio on titles like Halo and Call of Duty. See, I knew it was Halo and Call of Duty. Ooh, shout out to the Ashen Luca with the super chat. Let me hit that real quick. Thank you, Luca, for the $5 super chat. She says, I'm so sorry to distract from the topic, but I just saw some YouTube I'm sub to saying if you're only getting 100,000 views, that's decent, I guess. Oh, okay.
Wow. Decent. 100,000 views. Like per video?
Hey, look, I got some people out here.
100,000 views.
I'll take 100,000
views in a month.
Right. I'll take 100,000 views. Hey, look, if somebody is putting in that kind of work and getting that kind of attention to their videos, then, more power to them. I ain't gonna say much more about it. Shout out to Dorian Gray with the $5 super chat. He says, I have to call for, man, you getting called out a lot tonight, man.
Dorian Gray coming for me too. Well, listen, I'm not very astute when it comes to the Asian culture and everything that they're playing. So
he says,
I'm not
counting
saying that
Asia, PUBG is the most played game on the planet. I don't know about that, Dorian. The most played game on the planet, PUBG, that just had to go free to play.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. Like I said, you won't make me research that now because I don't know. I don't think
PUBG is the most.
All I know is Fortnite is very, very popular, and that's here is more popular than PUBG.
Most played game worldwide. You know, actually, let me put that a year in for this real quick. So I want to kind of get this, put this to rest real quick.
Shout out to the Action Luca with the $2 super chat again. Thank you, dear. All day vlogs and be pretty, my dream.
All they
do is
vlogs and look,
Yeah,
hey look, if that's all you doing out here, I mean, all right,
pretty. All they do is vlog.
Yeah, you know, doing vlogs and being fake all day. All right, you know, hey look, no, I'm sorry, Dorian Gray, you were not correct. Okay, I got this article here. I'm gonna put this article up real quick.
Right, vaccine says Asian people play League of Legends and StarCraft.
I'm gonna send this to you, Forte.
I agree with you, Luca. All they literally do, like anytime you turn a video on and the first thing they do is have the camera laying in the bed next to them, but they got full makeup on already, acting like they just woke up. Come on, now. Let's be for real here. You literally put that camera there, like, oh no, I just woke up, but I have full mascara on. And
I woke up like this.
Black. I wake up like this every day. No, stop it.
No, you didn't. No, you don't. Let me. How do I want to do this?
What, Aronimus, where are you going with this?
Let's look at most played games. Okay, this is what from Twinfinite for 2021 most played games of 2020. And okay, Apex Legends is number 10. PUBG is number 9.
Oh Lord!
So it's
down there.
Yeah, it's not. No, that's not number 1. Dota 2 makes a lot. Dota 2 is number 8.
That makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. New World is brand new. Came out last year. That one's now number 7. CS:GO. Can't ignore CS:GO. That game's been around for forever.
We still haven't even got to Fortnite yet.
Yeah, we haven't got to Fortnite yet.
We ain't even got to Fortnite yet.
Minecraft is number 5. Roblox, yeah, freaking Roblox. Good, my son in Roblox. Good grief. Yeah, Roblox is number 4. Crossfire, wow.
Oh, Crossfire is really big over in Asia.
Wow, Crossfire is that. Yeah, I see why they're trying to bring it over here. Even though I mean, look, like that campaign is looking a little sketch right now. League of Legends, of course, is number 2, and number 1 is Fortnite. So I think Forte, I mean, look, if you want to, you know, do a celebration dance for being right.
That's about what's that number? 12.3. What was the one before? 8?
Okay, yeah, Fortnite is 12.3 million. And before that? PUBG is basically 4? Not even 500,000.
Not even 500,000, and then the one before League of Legends was 8 million. So we're talking about 4 million more people. Listen, shout out. I'm gonna give a shout out to you. Shout out to you, Dorian. I love you. Appreciate you. You support the channel. We appreciate your super chat. You know, I appreciate your $5. Thank you. And just make sure, I just request you to come to my show next week and donate $10 to double that up and say, Forte, you were right. I'm sorry.
Dorian says he has receipts, but Dorian, we just looked at an article that broke down the top 10. It's in the top 10. It's nowhere near number 1. Like, I don't know what receipts you have, Dorian, that's going to prove otherwise.
Listen, he got receipts from 2017. When it was great. Oh man. Dorian, DM me your receipt, sir. So we can see what year they actually happened in. If they already, look, if the return policy is up, we can't talk anymore. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. All right. Back to our topic here. Back to our topic. That was a nice little side.
Dorian, he says PUBG has over 100 million people playing.
That's not true. 100 million people playing PUBG. Come on, Dorian. That's not. Maybe 100 million people have played PUBG.
Yeah, it
But
might
that's
be the
not
most played game in the world, like as in people that past tense played it at one point.
like everyone has tried it. Like we've all tried PUBG at some point, you know. So then we are all counted in that. But like most played game is more of like what are people playing right now? And that's more of what you were talking about, Forte, in regards to you talking about Fortnite and it, excuse me, in regards to it potentially no longer being
Yeah,
at its
people are still
highest
at
point
its
anymore.
apex. Yeah, people still play it, but it's not gonna be like it was like and I think that was the biggest thing. I think he's like going against because I was saying PUBG was doing amazing, and then Fortnite came in there and was like, okay, we could do this better. And then PUBG, you don't even hear about really anymore. I think that's where he's coming from when it comes like to the comparison. But it's just mostly due to the fact that just like PUBG was doing super amazing, Fortnite's going through the same thing. The only difference is Fortnite has found a way to refresh itself on a more, you know, realistic schedule. Like they do something every other week or every other month, and they have new characters from no matter what platform you play on. You on Nintendo, you got Kratos in there, you got Master Chief, you got Doom Guy going in there. So they found a way to, you know, not only be relative when it comes to like gaming, but just an entertainment period. I mean, they do concerts with Katy Perry and Travis Scott. It's crazy.
We are way the freak off topic. Let's just get back to
fine.
Certain Affinity making a Monster Hunter kind of game. Is this something that you are interested in, Forte?
I don't. That's a good question. I definitely had. I wanted to play Monster Hunter. I wanted to play Monster Hunter on Xbox, but the biggest thing about that is it's not the most approachable game.
Mm-hmm.
Most people that play that game, it's just like Destiny. It's a loot game, and that game you really have to grind out to be able to go after a lot of these higher tier monsters, and then you know you level up and get better and better gear as you go through and stuff like that. And that's the lore of a game like Monster Hunter and stuff like that. So it would be great for Xbox to have something like that in their repertoire. I do think that would be that's one of the main reasons people want them to go out and get something like a Capcom and purchase them, because something like Monster Hunter does really, really well, especially on systems like Nintendo. It does pretty decently well on Xbox when it comes to the older ones, but Nintendo always gets all the newer ones. They always get like Rise and all the other iterations that come out and stuff like that. So I think people want that type of experience because that's something that you really don't get on like an Xbox console. Or even on PlayStation, honestly, because it's mostly just PC and Nintendo that gets it. So I do think this is a great thing, and that just ultimately gives another pillar for them to have inside of Game Pass, another genre that they can say that they actually have inside of their ecosystem that people would jump into. So it probably will be more healthier, because if it's something like you know, we just got to pretty much talk about everything that is produced for Xbox is going into Game Pass. I do think something like a Monster Hunter clone or whatever kind of game is going to be will fit into that ecosystem, because it's always going to have players. And that's the one thing that a paid version, unless you're something as big as Monster Hunter that has a built-in player base, you always have a struggle with, because if you don't have the people to play it with, it kind of falls on its face at that point.
Yeah, you know, I agree with you on that, and just me personally, I don't like Monster Hunter. Like I tried Monster Hunter World, it just wasn't for me. I'm not saying it's a bad game or anything, just not really like my taste. So for this game in particular, I'm not interested in it. But that's it. I do think it's good that they are doing something like this and trying to get a game that is of a particular kind of gaming demographic that's different. It's not something they really have in their catalog right now. And of course, it's going to be in Game Pass day one. So this kind of content only helps bolster Game Pass and what Game Pass will be providing for people to kind of, and hopefully in their eyes, as far as they're concerned, keep people subscribed to it and not unsubscribing once they no longer are playing the kind of game that they were really enjoying or whatever, right? So like that's what keeps people engaged into a subscription service. Unique content that is consistently being updated and always being added to the service, so that people always feel like I can't unsub from this service because I will be missing out on this or that, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's good that they're getting different kind of content out there. Now I guess we can finally
Luke.
Go ahead.
So okay. So we have to be fair here, and I know we just said we wanted to move on from it.
Mm-hmm.
Luca just put a link in the chat for PUBG and all of the. So I wasn't thinking about PUBG Mobile.
Now
I
was from
just
January of this year too.
So I wasn't thinking about mobile. So he might be correct if you're thinking about with mobile as part of the equation, because PUBG Mobile is pretty huge. It's pretty huge. You're talking about you're looking at something to down like 730 million downloads in June of 2020. Before the ban, and that's also, like you said, before the India ban, which cut the user base in half.
I see. I'm looking at that now. I'll actually pull this up on screen so everyone can see it.
Listen. What other show other than DPS will give people the benefit of the doubt? If we wrong, we wrong. And trust me, you got to be. Listen, we learned from my mother. Someone's not going to say his mother, but we learned from Luca. You got to have receipts, got to have the evidence. If you can show the evidence, then guess what? We'll acquiesce to it. We'll give you your flowers. But I wasn't thinking about PUBG Mobile. I was thinking about base PUBG.
Oh, that's old, but it says PUBG has surpassed almost all other games on Steam in terms of peak concurrence. But this is for in August of 2017.
That was up to 2017 for a month before the official launch.
Well, here are the numbers here. So it's key statistics. PUBG Mobile was the highest grossing game in 2020, generating 2.6 billion. So it really is the mobile version of PUBG that is pushing the numbers. The original version of PUBG is the one that we were thinking of that was not as popular as it once was. Downloaded 730 million times. That's crazy. Quarter 3 of 2020, over 50 million people played it daily. Over 75% of PUBG mobile players are male, and okay, I don't care about that. Before the ban, half of all PUBG mobile players were from India. That's interesting. And wow. Look at this here. So that's the revenue, and 30 million. So this is as of 2020, 30 million is more than
Fortnite.
Fortnite was at 12.3. So there you go. That is correct. Shout out to Dorian for definitely being correct there. All right, let's
move away from this conversation before we give Dorian a bigger head than he already got.
Man,
shout out to you, bro.
Well, what were we discussing again? We were talking about. Hey, we were talking about Monster Hunter, this Monster Hunter game for Project Forte. There we go. Project Forte being developed by Certain Affinity. Have you played any? Has Certain Affinity made anything that wasn't like a support studio game? Like
that I know of.
Okay,
everything they've done was support.
All right, so this might be their first like opportunity. This is
their entry.
To be a main studio, which is not a knock or at all on them. Like everyone starts from somewhere. At one point, Gearbox was a support studio for Bungie for Halo Combat Evolved. They did port work for Halo Combat Evolved over the PC. Mm-hmm. So like everyone starts somewhere, and Gearbox is now considered.
I have a list of all their games.
All right, go ahead.
So they have Halo 2, Age of Booty, Call of Duty World at War, Left 4 Dead, Halo Waypoint.
Oh, did you say Age of Booty?
Age of Booty, which is a game they probably actually made. Age of Booty. Okay. Call of Duty Warzone. I mean, not Warzone. World at War, Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty Black Ops, Halo Reach, Crimson Alliance, Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, Halo 4. They work on all the Halo games. Call of Duty Ghost, Master Chief Collection. Shame on you guys for working on that. Doom, Modern Warfare Remastered, Halo Infinite, and they have Last Expedition that is to be announced, and Transformers Online, which is to be announced.
Okay, all right. So, what?
Oh, they actually co-developed on Halo Infinite.
Really?
So they do. Okay, so for all the Halo games, it looks like they did.
They've been working on a lot of Halo games.
They did multiplayer and DLC maps for Halo. They actually created Age of Booty. They assisted developed on Left 4 Dead, co-developed on Halo Infinite.
Hold on real quick. Shout out to Gamers Gambit for subbing to the channel. Appreciate you, bro. Go ahead, man.
Shout out to you, bro. And then Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 4 with 343, they co-developed on that too. Hey, right. Halo, no reason, no wonder freaking
but they haven't really done so. All right, so this is their first time like really like being in the forefront,
like probably stepping in the AAA space, probably.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I said, like that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that they can't they can't take that step and make a good game primarily developed by themselves. They got a lot of experience clearly. And I hope it turns out to be good because there's clearly a market for that kind of game. Monster Hunter does extremely well for Capcom. That might be Capcom's most successful game right now. If I think about like how Monster Hunter has sold, and I actually if it's not their most successful game recently, it definitely was the game that kind of helped them get out of the hole they were in. When they came out with Monster Hunter World, and that really blew up a few years ago, and then they Rise, I heard is pretty good. I haven't played it.
Rise is good, but Iceborne is probably one of the best. The DLC, the latest DLC for Monster Hunter.
Cool. So like there's clearly a market for those kind of games, and making an exclusive game for the Xbox ecosystem that kind of fits that demographic is a smart move.
I agree.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Let's finally get into our main topic here. Halo hits 20 million users. So what that means, let's define that. It's not 20 million people are playing Halo right now. That doesn't mean 20 million people played Halo yesterday. It means that 20 million people have installed and booted up the game and played
for 2 seconds
Halo for in some shape or degree before, which is the most that this game has ever had. That's to be expected when you go free to play for multiplayer. Forte, what do you think about this? What do you think about this milestone for Halo and Halo's future?
Honestly, the fact that it's free to play, it doesn't, because they consider any version of Halo Infinite, even if you were in on the beta before the game even launched, as a download. So I don't know. It's like, would it having a free to play aspect? It's great. I love the fact that many people were interested in the game. But when you look at games like Fortnite with a free to play option, or like PUBG with a free to play option and stuff like that, you really like, man, that's still low. And those aren't concurrent numbers. Those are just people that tried the game.
Right.
Now, I like the fact that they actually put this information out there, and they also tied it to some other information around Game Pass and everything, with having 25 million people. That was also part of the Activision conversation. So it definitely says that Halo did have a part in the reason that Game Pass subscriptions did drastically increase by 7,000 to 8,000 over the course of the last quarter or the last year. So that's actually a really, really good thing. But I just think saying 20 million people tried a game is kind of cheating, But it's still the simple fact that many people are playing the game, and it's still a good thing, though. I do think that more and more people will jump in, especially once we finally get things like co-op. And then also once we get further or closer to when the next season starts, because I think right now we're getting season fatigue because nothing's really changed in the game over the course of the last couple of months, and everything that could be done in the game pretty much for the most part is already been done by most people. And the people that are playing it are the diehard Halo people, people that just want to play nothing but Halo,
right,
compared to, the majority of the people that will just come back once there's new content in the game for them to come back to. But that's still a great number. 20 million can't be scoffed at. And I'm happy for the success and people that actually really love this game, because it is a good game. It still needs some more polish, and that's pretty much it.
The gameplay, the roots of the gameplay are really good, despite some netcode issues and some other. Like I saw a video, actually kind of like went over it the last time I streamed. I did lunchtime with slow mo on my Twitch channel. And there was a guy that posted a video about some real desyncing issues between what you're doing locally on your console or PC and what the server actually sees. And so like he showed the first clip of him shooting his shotgun directly point blank range into another player like 3 times and then getting meleeed. And then when he went into theater mode and looked at what the game had actually registered, it just basically just had him running up on the guy and just standing in front of him, and this guy just meleeed him to death. So it was just, like there's definitely some issues that need to be addressed. There's still content that's missing that needs to be rectified. There's still no Forge. There's still no co-op for the campaign. There are people who are waiting to play the campaign. And they don't want to play it solo. There's some people who are like that. I got some friends who wanted to play
it
co-op.
To me, which is crazy.
But I mean, look, how people prefer to play games is all on them.
You're right. You're right. I'm saving my legendary playthrough for co-op. I played it on heroic by myself, and
I did too.
But I wasn't waiting. I
couldn't wait.
I wouldn't wait. That's the only thing I'm saying. I mean, people can do whatever the heck they want. It's just crazy to think that people are willing to wait.
Look at this glitch. My head is stuck in the ceiling. It's good. Yeah, man. Some of the stuff that happens in this game is wild.
You look like a piece of mistletoe hanging from the sky.
Right, especially with the Christmas colors, right?
Right.
Oh man. No, you're right. It's like the people have their preference of how they want to play games, and like I wasn't going to wait. Like I was definitely going to play the game at launch, because I definitely didn't want like the campaign spoiled for me, and I really wanted to get into it to see what the changes were going to be with the hub world, open world environments, and the grappling hook, and which I enjoyed. The grappling hook's a great addition. It needs to stay. Like the grappling hook needs to be a permanent part of Halo going forward, I think.
Yes.
And
I agree.
it's just unfortunate that like a lot of issues have occurred, and you got community managers upset, going on tirades and everything, and being upset at the community for some of it is justifiably so deserving to be upset when you have, say, people sending death threats over a video game. Like seriously, like look in the mirror. Like, is this really you? You sending death threats over a video game? You're a brainlet. It's ridiculous, right? But to kind of take those minority of instances and then kind of like just conflate it to everything, or to use it to ignore what has been happening with the game, and some very, very justified complaints people have with content that was missing very, very early on. People's complaints with the grind with the battle pass, people's complaints with the issues with progression and the microtransactions and the pricing of things in the store, how they have doled certain things out, how in the battle pass the suit paint skins or whatever you want to call them look dingy and beat up, but like the ones that you buy look all glossy and clean. It's just like, come on, bro. Like why you gotta do people like that? Like like you have an event going with samurai armor, but the samurai armor that you got in the event is just blah. But then the one that you marketed on everything is the samurai armor that's the paid for one. Like, we see what you're doing, and it's like it's nothing new to free to play games, but it's new to the Halo community because this is not what they're used to. And that's
what I think. Yeah, that's the thing.
As a Halo player, I'm of two minds because I've played free to play games before. I play a lot of Rogue Company. I play Splitgate. I play free to play games before, and when it's a game I really enjoy, I have no problem supporting the developer because people gotta keep the lights on and pay bills and feed their kids somehow, right? Like, you gotta do that. You have to. And the game's free, and I got it for free, but I'm enjoying it. And like, you could put whatever dollar amount that you feel that you would justify putting on the game that you like. If it wasn't a free to play game, whatever dollar amount you want to put on it, cool. But like, I think I probably put about $50, maybe $60 into Halo Infinite.
50. Yeah, I put 50 in,
which is almost the price of a full price game. I played the campaign through Game Pass, so I've put in the kind of money that I would have put in anyway. So I'm fine with that. It's just that when you have people who just like they can't turn it off, they see something, they're just like, I gotta have that, and then that's when things go from, well, you're paying virtually the value of what you would have played for the game if it wasn't free to play, to now you're hitting whale territory. And when you're hitting whale territory, this is why you go free to play. This is why some of the most successful games out there are free to play games, because there is no fixed cost for all the content. It is always going to be about how much you're willing to spend, and some people just don't have the restraint to stop spending or to just say, hey, look, the price of this armor ain't worth $20. This is really not worth $20, and people will absolutely say that out their mouth and then go and still spend $20 on it. So yeah, all right. All that said, I don't think we're both not trying to minimize that they've hit 20 million users. I do think that is is good to see, even though if you compare it to other free to play games,
compare it to Battlefield, which is a paid game, like it probably shouldn't be paid, and it doesn't have any people playing it. So. Right.
But I'm just saying, you just look at other free to play games, and if you compare the first month of Halo, which is 20 million, to the first month of Apex Legends, which was a stealth launch game that wasn't marketed at all. It was stealth launched. It came out of nowhere. Apex Legends hit 35 in their first month. So, I guess that kind of it may be somewhat telling of what us old heads feel about Halo, and what like the younger generation really feels about Halo. Like, it's cool and all, but it's for them, it's like, man, it's no Apex, it's no Fortnite, that kind of deal. I don't know.
And plus it's still pretty bare bones when it comes to the offerings and stuff. So yes. The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if Halo in the next 3 to 4 years is one of the most played free to play games out there, because they'll finally get the monetization under control when it comes to the game. And I do think it's a little harder for them to do it, just for the fact that Halo is a known franchise, where it's something like, when it's not known, people will give it a try, and if they love it, they don't have anything else really to kind of compare it to. Compared to Halo, people pick it apart all the time. You go look at a video, like just Google all the problems wrong with Halo Infinite, and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff like, it doesn't have this, it's missing that, it's missing this, it doesn't have core features in the multiplayer that paid versions of the game actually had, and everything. So free to play kind of isn't doing it it hasn't really done any favors for it. But I do think within a couple of years, once they flesh it out and they get pretty much a consistent flow of content coming to the game at all times, then you'll see the game really truly take off, because it plays the best. It plays like really great compared to a lot of the other free-to-play games. And that's something that gunplay is the number one thing that you have to have. And I do think this game does have it. It just comes down to them having the content to go along with it.
Yeah, I agree. We can go ahead and move on to something else, that actually another game that looks like it might end up being a strictly just a Xbox exclusive or Xbox ecosystem exclusive, and that is Blizzard's game. A new survival game coming from Blizzard, actually. And so what this game's supposed to be is they actually did an announcement about this. Was this today? I think they did this announcement. No, a couple of days ago. Well, they announced that they were developing a survival game for PC and console. Some people are still holding out hope that this will end up being on PlayStation. I think if anything, like you should definitely, if it's not Call of Duty, don't bet on it, because I don't think it's going to happen. But what we have here with Blizzard is they have a team that's working on a survival game. It's definitely not something that is usually in their typical warehouse doing survival, but this is a new universe they're creating, and they're talking about putting it out there for people to try to get more developers to come in and work on it. They're actually seeing people who do not have been very vocal against Blizzard. People who used to work there and can't stand what Blizzard stands for and Activision speak highly of the game that's been worked on and the team that's been making the game. So, hey, if there are anyone out there that's actually looking to, maybe get into it, then that might be something they might want to join for that. But the reason why I said this is probably going to be just an Xbox and PC game is that when you don't even have a title of the game, you just call it unannounced survival game, and
right.
you're already kind of in flux with the company being acquired by Microsoft. You're really, really early in development. By the time this game comes out, any contractual obligations that Activision Blizzard had with PlayStation is definitely going to be over at that point. So it just seems to me that any games that are this far out, years and years out, 3 to 4 years out of development, is most likely not going to be a game that's going to end up on PlayStation. What do you think, man?
I think the same thing. I do think that most of the games that haven't had announcements or stuff around them that we're just finding out that are in development and don't come out till 2023, 2024. I do think those games will end up being exclusive, mostly just due to the fact that I think a lot of the obligations and contractual things are going to be up by that time. But like I said, they also did say that there was going to be a bunch of games once this acquisition goes through are going to be hitting Game Pass and everything like that. The cool thing is, I just feel like it's a much needed thing for them. Blizzard hasn't really made too many console variants of their games. Most of them have been PC oriented. They have made some console games like, Overwatch, one of the, most played games on a console. Probably, it was kind of neck and neck with the PC version, which is actually really, really telling of how great that game was. So having the ability to bring more of those type of IPs and more of those type of experiences over to a console would be great. It being in a survival type setting, I think, is another good move for them, because I don't think we have enough of those type of games on a console setting. A lot of those games are kind of based in the PC world. If you think about exactly what kind of games those are, People enjoy those type of games. You have like games like Death by Daylight and stuff like that. Even the craze around Friday the 13th, those type of survival games was actually really cool. And even if they want to go the route of a game that's going to be more of a story-based narrative game, that would be a great thing too, because I think we don't have enough story-driven games that are based in that survival horror or just survivalist type of genre. So whichever way they decide to really truly go with this is really cool. I just like the fact that it's something that's not a part of an existing universe or a intellectual property that they already have. This is going to be something completely brand new. And I think this is something what a lot of people want to see exactly what's going to happen with Blizzard, because the one thing is we know Blizzard had a lot of talent. Now we don't know how much of that talent is still left from, all of the stuff that's been going on with Activision Blizzard over the course of the last couple of years. But this is a good thing because I always looked at Blizzard and that Blizzard quality, and I'm just hoping that this new franchise or this new game that they're building in a new world is going to be something that a lot of people are going to take to and it really sees success, because that's kind of what we need to see from Microsoft, build these experiences not only for the PC platform, which is going to be something that they're going to be great at, because now that they have Blizzard by their side, and they have a launcher where they can actually probably migrate stuff over and just build on the infrastructure.
You know what?
They have the ability
that is a hope and a dream of mine.
A hope and a dream. It is a hope and a dream that they migrate everything over.
I don't think it's going to happen. Battle.net works great. I've never had an issue with Battle.net.
Nope. But think about it. They have more. And the reason I think, as much as I live it not being a hope and a prayer, is because there's more people on Battle.net already. There's more people on Battle.net than ever play on the Windows Store.
Yeah, but then I also kind of don't want them to ruin Battle.net trying to implement or have some kind of integration with the Xbox app for Battle.net. No,
they don't need to do that. They don't need to do that. They just need to have the ability to see. This is the thing that people don't realize. You don't have to have it integrated into the app. Just have it as its own separate thing that you have a Microsoft login, because the only thing the app does is allow you to send messages across, multiple platforms, so you don't have to be tied.
You make it sound so simple, and yet
it should be simple.
It hasn't been simple for them, not at all. It's been awful.
Building a simple ecosystem on a PC hasn't been simple for them. Now they literally have something that works. Now you're basically saying just because it works doesn't mean it's going to continue to work if they start messing with it.
That's exactly my fear. That instead of fixing the Xbox app, they're going to break Battle.net. Like, that seems to be like the more likely scenario to me. That instead of actually making things better, they just make it worse. And so I'm just kind of hoping that whatever happens, like that. I mean, I hope that the Activision's expertise might actually be able to help them out here, but man, it's the Xbox app is so frustrating, man.
Yeah, I see Dr. Detroit. He says, why do Xbox customers always have to wait for things? And that's a legitimate question. The thing is, for that, I think a lot of people were tired. A lot of people are tired of waiting on Xbox. But I think they have garnered a lot of goodwill due to the different things they have done around acquisitions and the studios that they purchased and the games that they shown off up to this point. It's like Xbox has always been really good at showing you the carrot that's way down the road. The problem is, up until the last couple of years, I'd say 2018, that carrot just kept getting further and further away. The carrot never got closer. It's like, here's the carrot, but we're not going to ever let you get to it. Whereas now, a lot of people are seeing more carrots at the end of the street. Like, oh, it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, even 5. There's 10 or 15 of them. And some of them can be annualized due to stuff like Call of Duty that we can actually get in the ecosystem. And that has people more excited. So, yes, it is kicking the can down the road for the sake of, just being excited. But I do think Xbox is heading in a direction that's great for them. It's going to be great for the ecosystem in general. But I do agree, if they don't hit those points, then people are just going to say, why am I doing this to myself? And so only time will tell on that, and that's the unfortunate thing. But I do think they garnered a lot of goodwill due to all of the moves they made over since 2018.
Yeah, I agree. It's just I know we got kind of off a tangent here. Blizzard survival game. I mean, look, it's Blizzard. If they can get back to being, actually, I don't even know if you can really say that anymore. They've lost so much talent.
Yeah.
They're not the Blizzard that they used to be, where they were essentially like it was always a slam dunk. This game is going to be of quality that you knew when it came out that it matched Blizzard's level of quality. Like they're not that studio anymore. Hopefully they can get back to that. But it's good to see that they are not just making only the IP that everyone knows, because Activision Blizzard went from making a ton of different games to just making Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo and World of Warcraft, and that's it. And so it seems like they're making new IP now. They're attempting to do new things again, and that's good, But like Dr. Detroit said, here's something else you're going to have to wait on, because unfortunately the content isn't ready to go yet. So
yeah, unfortunately,
we'll see. Last topic of the night is Call of Duty games for PlayStation being revealed, and so what we have here is, let me go find it. This came from, I think, Bloomberg. I think Bloomberg came out with this information. But essentially, we have confirmed that there are 3 games that will still be going to PlayStation. These are the 3 games that will likely be the games that are contractually obligated to PlayStation from Activision Blizzard, and therefore they probably will still have like the marketing for PlayStation and stuff like that. But those 3 games are the Call of Duty that's coming out later this year, the Call of Duty game that's coming out next year, and Warzone 2, which from Jason Schreier says will be in 2023. And he says after that, it's hazier, with other recent acquisitions such as Bethesda and Obsidian. Microsoft fulfilled existing contracts and then released or announced subsequent games for PC and Xbox, no PlayStation. To be clear, this news of Activision's contract with Sony is not related to the timing of when the acquisition closes. This contract was signed before last week's news. So this is the contractual obligations, as we said. Forte, what do you think about this? Does this change any of your opinions on what you think may happen once this is all said and done?
Nope, doesn't at all, because I still believe when all of this stuff hits the rubber, Game Pass is still the vehicle that all of these games are going to be driven through. And I do believe that a lot of this is people kind of take it as like a fact thing. None of this is fact, because none of us really truly know.
Well, don't know. This is facts. These
no. Well, that's what. No, this is fact. No, this right here.
Those games are going to PlayStation.
Facts.
Yeah.
Those. I'm talking about the whole conversation. What's going to happen after the fact? Mm-hmm. All of that is opinion. No one knows what's going to happen there. So, Xbox can literally. Right now, Xbox can be telling themselves that these games are going to be exclusive. But don't think that Sony doesn't know that is probably the idea that they're having for it. And what happens if these games over the next couple of years like do unprecedented numbers? Like Call of Duty's back, people love it, and Warzone starts generating more revenue than Fortnite and PUBG, which is kind of hard to believe. But if it does, then Microsoft might look at it and say, you know what? Just having Call of Duty as something that we can put in our Game Pass subscription model is good enough for us. We don't, plus the regulatory things they want to get through as fast as possible. So maybe they will allow something like Call of Duty just to go to another platform and say, well, we'll leave Call of Duty over there just for the sake of all the other IPs and all the other intellectual properties and studios that we're getting. in order to get this deal to go through a little bit faster. Maybe they have some type of deal with Sony where they start negotiating the price of the how much the game would actually be on there if Game Pass isn't available on there. There are so many different directions they can go when it comes to this conversation. That's why I always tell people, just take the wait and see approach. If you are going to have an opinion about it, just say it's your opinion about it. Like, my opinion is these games at some point will end up being exclusive to Xbox unless you have Game Pass on your platform, because that's where all games for Game Pass will live at, on the Game Pass platform. And that's pretty much the thought process I have, and that is a really good shot right there. But that's how I kind of feel about the situation. But until we hear Phil Spencer and them come out and say that these games, A, are going to another platform, or B, are going to be exclusive, I'm pretty much just going to be like, I really don't know. But it's cool to talk about, because that's all we're going to be talking about for like the next 6 to 7 months. And then it will just ratchet all back up over again closer and closer we get to the physical year for Microsoft, which is in, I believe, June of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
For next year.
But it may, like, don't take that as it's absolutely only going to happen then. It
can happen before then.
It can happen before then. Yeah, I actually do kind of feel like it will happen before then. Like, I don't think it's
long time for inclusion in this industry.
I mean, but that's the question. What do you? I mean, does it change your opinion? I mean, what your opinion in general was that they were going to be exclusive, right?
Yeah. So my opinion is still the same. I think with some slight caveats. I think that their game plan is that they will fulfill the contractual obligations, and that the whole like desire, which we played up so much last week, they do desire to have the game on PlayStation, but under their terms. Like, they desire to have it on PlayStation with Game Pass. That's one. Like, if you want to put Game Pass on PlayStation, absolutely. Look, you can get every Call of Duty, everything that we're doing. You'll get all that stuff that we think we may want to make exclusive. You'll get all that stuff. I do also kind of feel like that once they are done with the contractual obligations, that they will at that point then decide to not make it annual anymore. So it may not even be that attractive to PlayStation at that point, if it's no longer being an annual release, and you're annually getting that kind of revenue from the game that sells the most on your platform. But I think I'm fairly certain PlayStation does not want Game Pass on their platform, considering they're coming out with Project Spartacus very soon that is supposed to compete with it. But I could see them negotiating for other things, potentially maybe a ceasefire on some of these money-hatting ways with AAA games.
I like how you call it a ceasefire, because Microsoft is like the person that got a lot of bullets and they can just keep you pinned down.
Right, maybe we can stop with, but Sony has been outbidding them, so it's like maybe we can stop with this. Look, we would put Call of Duty back on your platform after these contracts is up, but if we're doing you a solid, can you do us a solid and stop snatching every Square Enix game that comes out, or whatever? Like something in there has to be done. Maybe the revenue split would be different. Instead of 30% of that revenue going to you, we want 15. We'll give you 15.
Maybe they'll have Sony remove that crossplay tax.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, look, the crossplay tax has got to go. There's no way in the world I am going to pay a tax on my game that I'm allowing to be on your platform. And I can just have it on my platform. No, yeah, I think they have a lot of leverage here, and they could definitely go the route of it's just going to be exclusive on our platform. I think that saying we have a desire, it's the kind of talk that like people say when they're negotiating, because like, look, we want to work with them, but there's certain conditions in order to get this done, and we didn't spend $70 billion to just continue to give our competition money. We want to definitely make sure that we are being satisfied here, and we're not just going to give it to you for nothing. That's not how negotiations are. That's definitely not how Microsoft became a $1 trillion corporation. So I think that they'll end up having to Sony, that is, make some concessions. I don't think Game Pass is going to be that concession, but I do think that they might work something out. But if they don't, then I think Sony's already probably looking at alternatives to Call of Duty, not necessarily a game that's going to do as much as that game does in sales, because if that was the case, then we will already know what that game is, because they will actually be competing with Call of Duty with sales, and so far nothing really is. But I think they might want to start cultivating talent that could potentially in the future, once this exclusive deal, because you got about essentially 2 years here. Warzone 2 comes out next year. The last Call of Duty that you have a contract for is next year. You got, by 2024, you may want to make sure that your competitor's game isn't the game that sells the most on your platform.
Right.
And you got Guerrilla Second Team making a first-person shooter. You got they've invested in Deviation Games. They've invested in Firewalk Studios for the shooters that they are making for them. They're exclusive. I don't think those games would be out before they lose this contract though. So it's you're gonna have to, hopefully if they can get something, then that they at least internally think, oh yeah, this is great. This is going to be awesome. Even though a great shooter can still not sell that great. So
yeah, right.
But we'll see what happens. I just kind of like, for me, this doesn't change anything for me. I think Phil Spencer is a wordsmith, and he gave the impression that he was going to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, while also giving himself an out by saying, oh, hey, you still got Warzone. We're coming up with Warzone 2, and Warzone 2 will be on PlayStation. And you got that, and that fulfilled all the criteria that I said about existing obligations, making sure that Call of Duty stays on PlayStation. You have a Call of Duty on PlayStation, just not all of them, but you have one.
Yeah,
and that's how that's how business is sometimes, man. It can be like that.
What do you think of the scenario? So Warzone, it's going to have basically a clean slate, all new weapons, all new everything. This is the one that's going to be developed by Infinity Ward. Supposedly, I don't know if they announced it, but next gen only.
Yes, it is next gen only.
It is next gen only. So I talked about this on Brap yesterday, and I know we was rambling on, so I didn't get a response from you on it. Mm-hmm. But what do you think this means for the mainline Call of Duty? If they're willing to move on Warzone and move that forward, do you think this also applies to mainline Call of Duties over the next couple of years? Probably not this year, but maybe next year's Call of Duty. Do you think we're going to see Call of Duty move into next generation only within the next couple of years?
I think they will go next gen only when, look, again, contractual obligations. PlayStation 4 is probably a part of that contractual obligation, as well as Xbox One. So they're probably still, whatever they're on the table for, and when it comes to contracts, is what they're probably going to hold on to. So their idea in their mind was that we wanted to be all next gen in 2 years. And so now, technically, in 2022, we don't know of any games that they are developing that are going to be on the Xbox One natively. Like if you're playing it, like their first party games will likely be available through cloud to be played on the Xbox One, but that's not native, so it's not being developed for Xbox One. I think their acquisition of Activision kind of changes what their eternal plans were with that. Although Xbox Game Studios and ZeniMax Media, Bethesda, probably won't be doing any more content for like that's still cross-gen, but it really kind of depended on what Activision Blizzard had planned there, and when they were going to decide to go all next gen. And I think it's probably going to be next year, because if Warzone 2 was supposed to come out next year, was supposed to be all next gen, then I think that next year's Call of Duty, 2023 Call of Duty, was going to be all next gen. And so, I think the last cross-gen Call of Duty probably would be the one that comes out this year.
Yeah. And I guess another question would be Xbox, since like I told you, if you go look at the Xbox store, a lot of the games are on sale, especially from Activision and Blizzard. When do you think at the absolute earliest we'll start seeing call it, because I see Alvin in the chat says Serious S Call of Duty bundle incoming. When do you think
you will see that this year? I think.
Yeah, look, that's what I'm saying. When do you think we're going to start seeing? Because Sony does have marketing rights, supposedly.
Right. So, that's where it's murky.
That?
That's where it's murky. So, like, when can you really do that? Although you own it. So, again, this might be a part of the negotiations. If it doesn't, maybe not this year. Because if the deal doesn't get completed this year, then they have no say-so on how to get that bundle done.
Right.
But next year, yeah, I can see them next year having that bundle out there. A Series S bundle. A Series S at that point could be down to like $250. You think about the holiday around Black Friday, a Call of Duty Series S, a bundle that gives you Game Pass for like 3 months, has exclusive skins, exclusive guns and stuff for Call of Duty. And I mean, I'm not a Call of Duty fan like that, but I've seen or heard from other Call of Duty fans about why they, like, even the ones that are like really big on Warzone. Warzone's more popular than the standalone singular Call of Duty games now, but like they still get those singular Call of Duty games because they can level up those guns in those games and then use them in Warzone. I could see Microsoft taking advantage of that. Where in the future, it's like, well, if those guns are only available and that game is only available on Xbox, it would behoove you, Call of Duty fan, to go get an Xbox and get and get Call of Duty on that platform so you can have access to those guns. You don't want to be like those other PlayStation guys that refuse to do that and they're using the old guns. You know, like it can be benefits to that, you know, even to on the micro level that they could use to their advantage. And I think that might be something we might see.
Yeah, I think the reason Xbox really doesn't have a problem acquiescing to a lot of these conversations and a lot of this stuff that Sony's got going on with the partnership with Activision is the fact that the main franchise they're talking about is Call of Duty. And ever since Call of Duty went cross-platform like 2-3 years ago, especially around Warzone and the multiplayer, it's a lot easier for people to still say, I don't have to be on Xbox. I don't have to be on the PlayStation. I can play pretty much wherever I want to play the game at. And even if a person does, that's why I always try to tell people it's not the end of the world if a person doesn't have Call of Duty on PlayStation, if that happens to be the case, because you could just go pick up an Xbox and all of the stuff that you did in Warzone or anything that you did multiplayer wise. And well, we won't say Call of Duty in general, because if they do it, they won't do it in the middle of a game's release. They would do it like the next version of the game, so it wouldn't be something that we're just going to pull it off of your system and stuff. It wouldn't be something like that. But when it comes to like Warzone, all your progression and stuff transfers between consoles and stuff, so you're really not going to be missing anything. And I think they know that. And I think that's going to be part of the negotiation, the negotiations that's going to be going on with the game and stuff. I'm just excited to see, you know, Call of Duty not be super annualized, hopefully, like it is now. Not saying that it still sells great, but I also don't like the fact that you have 8 development houses working on Call of Duty every year. And I know people keep saying, well, it's not annualized really, because you have, like, you know,
they're rotating it. It's like it's a 3-year development cycle, but still you have developers that, you know, they're really good at making other kinds of games. Instead, they're a support studio, you know, for you making just Call of Duty. Like if you jumped off of the annual horse for a little bit, let's say you decide to only have one game coming out every now and then. Instead of getting Black Ops every 3 years, instead you get Black Ops every 6 years. It's just one studio and one support studio doing that, while there's another studio and a support studio working on Warzone.
Right.
And then those other 4 studios can actually go about making new original IP, or being helping out as a support studio for 343 with Halo Infinite, because they're going to need that help if they're going to be doing an ongoing game. This was the last 10 years. People expect ongoing games to have annual content. Can 343 deliver that? I'm very skeptical that they can. So now they could actually use some of these other support studios to help out on other IP and not just Call of Duty, or develop their own games, which is something that Activision Blizzard hasn't really been doing for very much for the past half a decade. So
yeah, that's the thing that excites me the most about that survival game. It's like they're actually, looks like they're going to start getting back to that. And Dorian Gray makes a good point. He says there's so much stuff at Activision Blizzard besides Call of Duty. World of Warcraft on console would be huge, and that is something that has been rumored. That is something I know has been rumored, and also I think will really be truly discussed, because Xbox has made it very well known that mouse and keyboard support on console is truly alive, because you can play mouse and keyboard on Halo on your Xbox right now. So no one can tell me right now that World of Warcraft can't run on the Xbox Series X or X. It can. I guarantee you it can. It probably won't be like fidelity wise on the S, won't look as good as it looks on PC, but World of Warcraft really wasn't the best looker of a game as it is now.
True.
And if all you need is keyboard and mouse support, which the Xbox already has, that should be probably, I'm not going to say it should be, but it's definitely probably an easier implementation to do versus just having a controller. So I think they're steps close enough to being able to put stuff like that on there. I'm more excited for stuff like StarCraft to finally come to console and stuff, because we know we're getting the Age of Empire version from what's the name of the development house? World's Edge, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Yeah, I know we're getting we're going to get that on console at some point, and the way it looks like when it comes to the PC releases and stuff, it looks like it's a year later, because that's how long it took for Flight Simulator to come to Xbox. It was a year later after the PC launch. So hopefully Age of Empire does kind of the same thing. And once we get the all this stuff from the acquisitions and stuff from Activision, I do expect a lot of these PC oriented games to come over to the console version and stuff. It would be nice to get be nice to get a proper version of keyboard and mouse version of Diablo on console, because I do think they did an amazing job with the controls in Diablo. Diablo 3 has really, really tight control. I even like Diablo's 2 control on console, but nothing really replaces a keyboard and mouse when it comes to those games. They just play and perform a little bit better. You have more customization and the stuff you can actually do with that, and I think that just ties into the premise that Xbox, play how you want, play where you want. And if they can give you a console that allows you to play in a PC setting, I think that would be a great thing too. So Call of Duty, there's a lot of different things that I'm super excited for. Like the biggest thing with Call of Duty is just seeing studios like High Moon be able to do something other than just support a Call of Duty studio. And I know a lot of the Vicarious Vision developers, I forget what the developer they got rolled into, because it's no longer a company anymore or a development house. But I always remember them as being somebody that put a lot of effort into Forsaken for Destiny. Like they literally built entire DLCs for that game. And that was something that Bungie would not have been able to do without them. So just imagine if these studios have the opportunity to build something on their own, something that they could say that they created on their own. Or like Slomo said, maybe somebody that can help a 343 get more content out the door that they could put their name on and be co-development on, like they've been doing with a lot of these other studios. I just think Microsoft and Xbox is in a great place when it comes to that. And I think that's the reason, going back to what Mr. Detroit said earlier, why do we have to wait? that's why I'm excited, because the process of this all happening is real, and only time will we only have to just pretty much wait time to see exactly how it's going to play itself out.
Agreed. I guess we are all done with the topics now. We can go ahead.
It's at 11:06.
Yeah, man. It's been a while since we've shut things down in a timely manner, but I kind of feel like we nailed it tonight. We did pretty well.
We did.
Breeze through the topics, not too many detours, but we made it happen. Forte, let the fine people know where they can find you for the rest of the week.
Oh man, you can find me getting on Slumbo's nerves every day on
That's a
Twitter, Xbox, and PlayStation. You know, shout out to him. Great show, by the way, man. You did an amazing job with the topics and everything, and making everything super easy for a person like me to even understand it. So thank you for that. But yeah, Gaming Forte everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. Check DPS podcast out next week on my channel. It's going to be
no. Tell everyone about all the 5,000 podcasts you're going to be on this week.
No.
Okay. No. Yeah, do it.
Okay. Well, I can only tell them what's going to be happening for the rest of this week, because the other ones I've already passed and they already missed them. So
well, you have like 5 more podcasts left before the week is over.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah, you can check me out on my channel, in DPS podcast next week. You can also check us out on Scumcast this Saturday. Me and Slomo, not just me, Slomo will be there too. You know, because that's like his 5th podcast of the week, but he will be there too. But I will also be doing Game On Daily with Gas. Okay, whatever. I will also be doing Game On Daily with Gas and Asa on the Game On Daily YouTube channel this Saturday at 4 p.m. EST. So check us out over there on that one too. And yeah, man, just enjoy the games that you're playing. And Slomo makes it seem like I'm on a bunch of podcasts for the rest of the week, but I'm only on
6
more
podcasts in 7 days, sir. Okay. Like,
oh my god!
I need you to recognize you have a problem, and we're trying to help you, man.
What was Erodimus's topic about massages?
Yeah, I'm just like, that's not going to be a topic, sir. This is a video game podcast.
I would just tell you, no man will put his hands on my body in that way. I would just tell you
We're moving on. As far as videos goes, what videos you got coming out this week?
Man, so much stuff that's coming out. I got tomorrow I have a video talking about just the Call of Duty information with PlayStation and all the games coming in on that one. And then I'm also working on a video around all of the speculations on with the, like, when are we going to see Ubisoft Uplay finally hit, and how is that going to further the conversation around Xbox and monopolies and stuff like that, knowing that they have 2 of the bigger subscription services that are available not only on just on console, it'll be on console, but on PC. And how is that going to help with the regulatory things that's going on with Activision? So making a video on that too. But outside of that, man, it's just going to be business as usual, playing games and beating them, because I need to beat more games this year than you. I know you're going to laugh at that, but it will happen. See, I knew it. I know you're going to laugh at that, but it's going to happen, Slow-mo.
So, okay. So you in order to beat me in a games beat competition, you're gonna need to put in at least 30 games.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, if I do this,
and you haven't beat double-digit games in a year, and since I've known you.
Okay, listen. Okay, so let's put a deal on this.
Okay.
What would you do if I beat more games than you? And what would you want me to do if you beat more? Well,
it's a given. I'm going to beat more games than you. So
well, if you think that's the case, what would you be willing to do if I beat more games than you?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What comes out? What comes out next year? What comes out? What game are you? What's the next game you're looking forward to that's coming out
next year? I mean, like
next year.
It's nothing that's like
end of this year, next year.
well, we talked about Jedi Fallen Order 2 supposed to be coming out the end of this year, but I mean that's not definitive. They haven't even announced that Jedi Fallen Order 2 is even in development. So like I mean it's too far away for the really.
Okay, so put it this way: let's do it by. So Star Wars. If Star Wars releases this year, I'll buy you a copy of it.
Okay, so basically you're buying me a copy of Fallen Order.
Yeah, I'll buy you a copy of Fallen Order.
No, I'm saying basically you just want to give me a gift because you know you're not beating more games than me.
No. I will buy you a copy of Fallen Order or whatever game you want me to buy you if you beat me. But what are you willing to do for me if I beat you?
What do you want? What do you want? You seem like you're insinuating something. What do you want, man?
I don't know. Maybe a playthrough of Grounded and Platinumed it or something. I don't know. Maybe something crazy. I gotta think about what that's going to be.
Does Grounded even have achievements? Is it out of preview? I don't even know.
I think it is. I think it does have achievements now.
Sure. I will 100% Grounded. There you go.
No, I'll let you know. I gotta see what games coming out.
All right,
games
fine.
are coming out that I want this to be. Matter of fact, we will solidify this bet next week. So I'm gonna do some research to see what game I want you to play.
This is so pointless. You're basically just giving me Jedi Fallen.
How many games have you beat so far this year?
I've beat 1.5 basically.
So we're basically tied right now.
It's January.
I'm saying we're tied right now. So I'm not in the hole. I'm not in the hole right now.
Not yet. That can change. Look. I said this before. Shout out to Eagle fan. What's up, man? I said this before. I'm usually a slow starter when it comes to the amount of games I've beaten a year. The last 2 years ago, I beat 41 games. By the halfway mark, by June, I had only beat like less than 20. Last year, I was at maybe 16, 17 games beat. Halfway through the year, ended up beating. Actually, no, it was less than that. It was like 13. Ended up beating 33 for the full year. So, like I said, look, I don't know where you got all this. To go from barely beating 2 or 3 games a year to now you're gonna outdo me. It's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is hilarious. And guess what? And the fact that it's going to happen, it's going to make it even more sweeter. I'm just telling you, it's going to be even sweeter. So listen, that means if you know that this isn't going to happen, you should be willing to basically do.
I told you, you actually basically do what?
I said you're willing to do double jeopardy if this happens. Then so if I beat you,
double jeopardy. I don't think you're using jeopardy. That correctly. Double jeopardy. Double jeopardy is yeah. Like I seen the movie. No, double jeopardy is when you seen the Ashley Judd movie Double Jeopardy.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
That's double jeopardy, where you can't be charged for the same crime that you've been found innocent for twice. That's double jeopardy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. That's a bad analogy.
What? Double jeopardy?
Okay,
who died?
Bad analogy. I
ain't killing nobody.
Okay, so you'll be willing to. Okay, so 2 for 1, basically, double or nothing. If I do it. You owe me a game of my choice, and you got to beat a game of my. We'll just say Grounded. Whatever game we'll say Grounded, or we'll say something. Whatever game. What's another game that you got to play? Fine. So we'll basically exchange a game. So if I beat you, you owe me a game of my choice. If you beat me, I owe you a game of your choice. The only difference is, since you know you're super confident this isn't going to happen,
if I do it, 1,000% confident.
If I do it, you also owe us a game of our choice that you have to platinum.
All right, it's fine.
Okay, we're good. Let's do it. That's what Dorian said. You mean double down? Yeah, that's what I meant. Double down.
Double jeopardy.
I ain't killed nobody.
Double jeopardy.
Yeah, Double Down, not Double Jeopardy, Double Down. Oh man.
But by the way, go if you haven't seen Double Jeopardy. It's a good movie. Yeah,
It is a good movie.
Ashley Judd's in it. You know, she's not she's not bad on the eyes. You know, check it out. It's a good movie. Yeah, I'm fine with that, man.
After His Passion said, I'll give $100 super chat to shout out to After His Passion with the $5 super chat. I'll give $100 super chat to the winner. Slow-mo, what you gonna spend it on?
I don't know yet. I don't know, Passion. I appreciate you giving me that kind of money. That's very, very, very kind of you, sir. Because clearly not going to Forte. There is no way in the world he's beating me in a game's beat in a year. Like it's just not.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Listen, now I'm about to now I'm wondering if I even want to play Destiny in the next month. Do I want to play
this
Destiny?
Is part of the reason why I'm guaranteed to win. Not only just the fact that I play more games than you, period. I'm interested in more games than you are. You already know that. But the fact that you are beholden to Destiny. Like
I am.
The time, the hours
when I beat you,
you're not beating me because the amount of hours you're gonna put in on that game is going to completely screw you over. So yeah, it's
I might even beat Elden Ring now. Might have to play Saints Row too.
Oh gosh.
Remember last time we met? Remember last time you challenged me to something? What happened?
I won?
I won.
When was this?
When you told me, you was like, if I could do a video a day for 7 days.
That wasn't the last time. The last time is when you said that the Xbox was going to outsell the PlayStation and the Switch.
That's something
which was crazy. And you gave me you can't control this either. You're not gonna play more games. You're not gonna beat more games than me, man.
Okay, so Dorian just asked. He said he wants you to platinum the gunk or 100% it. That's crazy. So what are we considering beat? Are we just talking about just credits?
Roll credits.
Okay.
Yeah, roll credits.
So you have to have either the achievement or the trophy that shows that you beat that game.
Yes. And you can't use your daughter to.
No, I have my own account. She has her own account now, so that doesn't happen anymore.
Anymore.
Well, she played a couple of games on my account before she on my PlayStation account, not my Xbox. She never played games on my Xbox account. On my PlayStation account, she didn't have a PlayStation account, so she was playing under mine. So, as long as the trophy or achievement is dated for 2021, and it's not 2022, I'm sorry, and it shows a completion of a game being beat, that counts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You may want to also start a Twitter thread of the games. Yeah, I've already did that this year. I didn't do it in prior years, but like I decided to just do it this year. No, I'm not. No, because I usually I'm just using the hashtag to help me easily find it.
You could just hashtag and it will automatically find it inside hashtags.
Yeah, because like I use my pinned tweet for like usually promoting a video that like I put my work with and stuff like that. So yeah. But let's go ahead and wrap this up.
I think I'm gonna name it Slow-Mo. What should I name it? Hashtag Slow-Mo Forte Challenge. 2022.
Blade X has a good point. Let's I'll add that in there. No 2-hour games. There's a minimum here, like a minimum.
So Call of Duty and Halo time limits, basically 6 hours, 8 hours or more.
It goes 6 hours.
6 hours, 6 hours or more.
6 hours or more is fine. Yeah,
that works.
Because there's some games that are like full-fledged games that don't take you very, very long.
Like Firewatch.
Right, like Firewatch is actually a really good story. And I think when I beat that, it was like 5 hours, something like that, maybe somewhere in that time frame. Yeah, like Tacoma is a game that I think is a good story, but that game's only like 4 hours or so. So yeah,
Tacoma, I really like Tacoma.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what? That gave me a chance to finally beat Plague Tale.
What Remains of Edith Finch?
That's that's actually like 8 hours, 8 or 9.
I can't remember how long that was. I don't think it was that long. I don't think I think it was more like, it probably was, it clocked in around that 6 hour mark. But yeah, 6 hours is fine. 6 hour minimum.
Okay, that works.
All right, we're gonna get on out of here because we were good to go, and then you started this bet thing, and we were going to be getting out of here on time. And here we are.
Goals for 2022, man. Let's go.
All right, we want to get out of here. Appreciate everybody that came through tonight. You guys are awesome chat. Thank you for the super chats. We really appreciate that. Check us out next week, same time, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on Game & Forte's channel. And if we don't see you until then, be safe. Be out there. Be safe out there. I'm sorry, and enjoy your games. Peace.
Peace.